Welcome to Old Man Gaming, the series where I nerd out on video games, from my Gen X youth starting with early platforms like Pong and the TRS-80, through today with Xbox and PlayStation. In this impromptu episode, I'm going to be showing Fortnite gameplay from April 26, 2023, in which I got a little lucky with good use of a current game mechanic introduced a few weeks ago, the non-player character known as the Scout Specialist. Among the things that keeps Fortnite going is the frequency of additions to keep it fresh. In the 24.10 update that came at the end of March, they introduced 4 NPC specialists, each with different powers to help you when you hire them. My favorite of those is the Scout Specialist, who will give you periodic pings within a radius around you, which can reveal other players and give you an advantage. If you've never played Fortnite or haven't in a while, I'll give you a quick synopsis, but if you're a grizzled veteran, you'll want to skip this section of the video. Fortnite is a battle royale, multiplayer, multi-platform game that originally came out in 2017. You're placed on an island with up to 99 other players, and the last player standing wins. While there are lots of player-created game modes, the one that I play is the Epic-provided Zero build. And I like playing it solo as opposed to with teams of other players. The original Fortnite mode has players build structures, but for me, that overly complicated the gameplay, and I prefer not having to worry about that. You start in what's known as the lobby, which is where players are staged before the game begins. I have visual audio turned on, which gives me animations for sounds going on around me. In the upper right is the mini-map, lower right the inventory, and lower left you see my green health bar and currently empty shield bar. The game begins with all players on a floating bus that they skydive from onto the island below. Periodically, something called the storm reduces the area within which players can be without taking a per second health penalty. Each of those periods is referred to as a zone. Here's the map showing the path of the bus, and based on that path, I've placed a marker reminding me where I want to land. The bus starts, and you can see the marker I placed up ahead on the screen. I thank the bus driver and get a little bit of XP for that. And now I wait until the time I'm going to jump. As an older player, my hand-eye coordination isn't what it used to be in my 20s. So getting the loot that I want and getting good strategic locations is important to my gameplay. I highly recommend subscribing to EvolveJake, who's where I get most of my Fortnite strategy information, but I find I have to adapt his advice to my 53-year-old hand-eye coordination. Link to his channel in the description below. I've jumped from the bus, and I'm going to land a little bit in front of the building that I targeted. There's a slurp truck here that can give you 100% shield immediately, and I'm going to prioritize that in this game. Anytime you land, you want to get the weapon loadout you want and the heals you want, but among the first things you need to do to survive the early phase of any Fortnite game is to maximize your shield. So after I break the slurp truck and get 100% shield, I'm going to turn to the outhouse behind me and travel over to the building. Not much happens as I loot the building, so I'm going to speed up the gameplay here. And I get a decent loadout to start, and I don't run into any other players. When I'm done with that, though, I'm going to use the launch pad and go find the spawn location for the Scout Survivalist, the NPC I'm going to want to use in this game. In my inventory at this point, I've got a twin mag SMG in slot 1, followed by the Maven auto shotgun, blue rarity in the second slot. In the third slot, I've got some slurp juice. The fourth slot, the red eye. And then in the last slot, I've got some chug splashes. So as I hire the Scout Specialist, I've got 3 weapons of varying distances and 2 heals. I'd like to have a mobility item here instead of 2 heals, but we'll try to remedy that later. Fortnite now has the concept of augments, things you can do to add to the efficiency of your character in different ways. And right there I used some gold, which is the in-game currency that spans multiple matches, to get one I liked. Specifically, the one that increases the chance that I won't have to use ammo with my shotgun. One thing I'm keeping a close eye on here as I go to this launch pad is up in the upper right hand, we're less than a minute and a half away from going to Zone 2. And during Zone 2, some special NPCs will spawn at Brutal Bastion that if you defeat them, they'll give you a card key that opens a vault that has an excellent shotgun in it and the best healing item in the game right now as well. So really I'm stocking up to go have that fight with those NPCs. So I go to a different location that's got some more loot, and I'm about to use another launch pad to go over there, but now look, my visual audio told me that there's another player here. So I crouch so that they can't hear me, and I wait for them instead. I get right shoulder peek here on them, and take care of that player. In Fortnite, all avatars are right-handed. And having played a bunch of third and first-person shooters all the way back to Doom, I've learned the value of using a right shoulder peek so that you can get crosshairs on another player while hiding behind a building or a door or a wall, which is what I just did there when I defeated that player. So now we're heading over to Brutal Bastion. Visual audio told me there's a player to my left, and those footsteps from visual audio tells me the same. So I crouch to limit the amount of noise that I make and see if I can get a shot on this player. There's the ping from my Scout Specialist, so I can see exactly where they are, but I can't get right shoulder on them, so I don't take the fight for now. I'm going to go try to take care of those NPCs, but I got to keep in mind that other player is still over there. So I get out the red eye, start to take out the two minor characters first, the ones in white. Get some right shoulder peek over here, but I gotta be aware of that other player that might come and try to sneak up on me. Take care of that NPC. I've got his one other henchman to get rid of. So I didn't take too much damage there, and I'm going to pick up the card key that I can use to open the vault. I know that other player is still lurking, so I'm going to go very slowly here so as to not make too much noise. Switch to a better submachine gun. I hear the footsteps there in the distance. See how much time I have in this zone to go get this vault? And then I get a ping, and look, he's on the left side here, which means I can get right shoulder peek here on him. Get in a shot and retreat, I get right shoulder peek again, and 3 shots, he's gone. So that player was trying to camp out on the vault, but they made the mistake of going to the left side, which meant that they had left shoulder peek instead of right. And then when I got the ping, I knew exactly where they were. So now the benefit to taking out those NPCs is going to show. I'm going to get a ton of gold here. And I'm going to get to stock up on a bunch of other items. But the main things here are this is now the best healing item in the game, because it'll do both health and shield at the same time. And then this is the best shotgun in the game right now, this gold one to my left. Since I don't hear any footsteps and I've got my specialist to ping, I'm going to take a little time here to harvest extra gold for the next match I play. So right now in my inventory, I've got a blue SMG, I've got the mythic shotgun, I've got the 2 healing items, and I could really use a better distance weapon than that green red eye. So once I harvest the gold, what I'm thinking here is I picked up 1 key at one point during the looting. I need to go to a location that's got some lockers that I can maybe improve upon that red eye. So the whole time, while I'm harvesting this gold, I'm looking at my visual audio to see if somebody else is around, and I'm waiting on those pings from my Scout Specialist as well. When I get to the end of the gold harvesting, you're going to see I'm going to hear someone, though. And they're off to my left. So I crouch and make as little noise as possible. And you can just barely see their feet in the distance. Want to try to get right shoulder peak on them, and because I'm an old man, I completely miss the shot. I get a decent second shot, pull back so that I don't get hit, and get above them with 2 more shotgun shots, and get the elimination. So really they only got my 50 overshield, and you can see it's starting to regenerate in the lower left already. So I'm still thinking at this point, I got to improve my distance weapon. But I've got 2 more augments coming to me. Let's get to a safe place and go through those augments here if we can. Oh, but wait, in the distance there's another player. Let me get right shoulder here. The shotgun was not very good because it's so far away. Let's reload the shotgun. Try the red eye at a distance. That does not go well. I take some big hits. Fortunately, I've got the chug splashes I can use to regen in the middle of this fight. He takes a poor angle on me, and I'm able to hide and then get right shoulder on him again. And because I've got the good shotgun, I take him out. And look, he left a katana, which is the best mobility item in my opinion right now. So I'm able to pick that up, heal myself with the heals that he left, and now I'm much better off than I was before. So 4 eliminations at this point in the match. There's another special area that drops during Zone 4, but I find for my playstyle it doesn't work very well to go after that. There's a special island that's going to spawn here when we get to Zone 4, but I'm going to ignore that. And instead, I've now got 3 keys. Let's see if I can find a locker to improve my distance weapon. So I'm feeling good about my shotgun, my heals, my mobility. My SMG is okay. But let's use this launch pad to go over to this other building where I know there's some lockers that I can use the key on. Because I'm going to need a better distance weapon for late game. Let's go ahead and get those augments now that I'm in a safe location. Spend just a little bit of gold here. Aerialist in the case, because I now have the purple katana, I can use that 3 times to get vertical, and then if I also have Aerialist, I can bring out the umbrella again. There's not the item I need at the lockers, and there's not many locker locations still remaining on the map, given where the storm is. Trying to figure out what I do next, but look, I heard somebody else use the katana, and visual audio tells me there's someone behind me around the corner. My ping comes and I can see them. I get a decent first shot on, but then I miss with the SMG. But the ping tells me I funneled them right into another player. And while I didn't get the elimination, I can now see that player, and I take a chance. I don't have right shoulder, but I know they're damaged from the previous fight, and look at what they dropped. Not only did they drop some of those slurp items so I could use one of the ones that I have, but they also dropped an exotic red eye. Some people don't like this because it has a slightly slower fire rate than the regular red eye, but I like it because it's got explosive bullets, and that ends up making up for my old man aim limitations when using it. So I'm pretty loaded out here. I've got a decent SMG, I've got the best shotgun, I've got the best mobility item, I've got the best healing item, and I've got what for me is the best distance weapon. So when I look at the map, what I see here is the way the zone is working. I want to try to get sniper locations now that I have the distance weapon that I want. So I'm going to use the launch pad to go back to Brutal Bastion, but that's not my final destination. I'm going going to use the katana to get over to a closer launch pad. And then I'm going to use that to go over to that building that we were at towards the start of the match. Because it's going to give me the higher ground and sniper opportunity with the brand new exotic red eye that I've got. Now, I'm probably not the only person that thought of this. So I have to be careful that there might be somebody here already. So far, so good. Nobody's here. So I could look around the map on this level. Or eventually I'm going to decide to go up the stairs. I get a ping out of my Scout Specialist, and I can see people all the way back in that mountain. But they've got cover. I have no way to get shots on them. I'm going to look around this level for a little bit. But eventually, I'm going to decide to get an even higher vantage point. Shortly after I do that, visual audio is going to help me again. Because I hear somebody coming up the zip line, and my old man aim is just so terrible here. The explosions gave me a couple of shots on that guy, but then he's smart enough to crouch so I can't hear him. I'm hoping I'm going to get a ping out of my specialist to show me where this other player is. But before that happens, I hear a fight happening below me. And I'm able to get in a shot. I don't get the kill. Then I see this guy going down the mountain, and again, my aim is just terrible. I take a shot from somebody I don't hear off to the right, and very quickly use the katana to get out of trouble. So I can pop a heal and assess the situation. Switch over to my distance weapon. When I look up here, that bright light you're going to see out of this guy is he's got a sniper rifle, so I can't sit still. I've got to move and make sure I use my cover. And this is where the explosion helps me. Because while my aim is terrible, the explosions eventually take him out. I'm short a heal, and I overshoot the vantage point I'm trying to get to. But I'm still feeling pretty good with 6 players left. I see this player I try to take out here with that sniper shot, but then I take fire from the right. I assume it's from the player that I lost track of before, and then I walk right into another player here. And as I try to use the katana to get away again, while I'm in animation, I get taken out. I'm satisfied with any top 10 game in which I get more than 4 eliminations. So I was 5th with 6 eliminations here, and I probably could have gotten credit for 2 more eliminations if I'd been a little faster. My mistake here is I should have katana'd away from that fight, that last one, instead of trying to find cover, because then I could have done the exact same thing I did with the previous fight, go behind those trees, heal up, and live to fight again. The other thing I could have done is, back when I was at the other building, instead of keeping the SMG, I could have gotten some additional heals, and that way I could have done a mobile heal with a chug splash, like I did earlier in the game, and give myself a fighting chance. Still, this is a positive result to me, and I'm happy with it. And I'm especially happy with the purchase of the Scout Specialist, given the number of times that he eliminated dangers from other players multiple times throughout the match. I don't go out of my way to go purchase him in the beginning of the game, but since the bus route took me that direction, I went for it, and it sure paid off in this match. What about you? What's your favorite addition to Fortnite this season? And what did you see that maybe I could have done differently? Comment below. Follow me on Instagram for episode previews and other nerdy stuff. Link in the description below. And don't forget to support the channel with a like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and have a good rest of your day.